and gentlemen, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your brief intermission and were able to enjoy some of the beverages and cookies that we have out there. I'm Claire Knoll, and I had the pleasure of directing the cast and crew of Swine of Avon. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the family and friends for all of your support throughout this springtime. We have an excellent group of students involved in the cast and crew, and so we're competing with clubs and organizations and just life in general, so all of your support, we really appreciate it. Allow these kids to be involved in so many amazing things. Just a couple of announcements to turn off all of your electronic devices and make sure they're in a silent mode. No flash photography. And once again, there is the walkthrough with the Dodgeville High School facilities on June 1st at 6 o'clock. So if you would like to tour the building, see the facilities, or have any questions about anything, June 1st at 6 o'clock. Without further ado, the Swine of Avon.
Right this way, ladies and gentlemen. One of the most famous of all landmarks here in the town of Shanksphere. This is the birthplace of the great author, Shanksphere. It was here that Shanksphere was born. You can see that the Historical Society has restored it so it looks exactly as it did in Shanksphere's day. Even the straw and the slop are very authentic. It was here that Shanksphere got a basic education from his mother and other sounds. It was first here that Shanksphere learned snorting, grunting, slobbering, French, iambic pentameter, and Pig Latin. He lay at the ixtipay of an Aeneas ship. You may now enter the big tent for a closer look, but please do not touch it.
Come this way, ladies and gentlemen. Please stay on the curb. The traffic here is rather heavy. Please stay on the curb. Very good. At this rather busy intersection lies one of the greatest landmarks in all of Swindon, the original place of the Globe Theater. It is this playhouse that has forever been associated with the name of Shanksphere. It was here that plays such as All South and South, Cornelius, the Merry Warthogs of Windsor, and the Two Gentle Hams of Verona were first performed. It was said that Shakespeare acted here, though mostly in smaller roles. As a writer, Shakespeare was a masterful artist, but as an actor, he was something of a ham. Just my little joke. Now, if you could all turn right.
Are there any questions? I would be happy to answer them at this time.
I will now entertain any questions you may have.
Yes, sir. You have a question?
Yes, madam. You have a question?
Snort, 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 snort.
A very good question, sir. One which scholars have tried to answer for over 400 years.
A very good question, and one well worth asking.
How did such a humble, small-town kid like Shakespeare rise to become one of the greatest literary giants in all of Swindon?
How is it possible for one mortal swine to possess so much creativity and knowledge?
To attempt to determine the answer, we must first go back and examine the life of this extraordinary pig.
We must step back and try to recreate the situation.
It is 1564, and in the village of Shanksphere-on-Avon, Shanksphere is born into a large family.
His middle child was 16 brothers and sisters, and the runt of a litter born one April day.
But from the very beginning, Shanksphere was different from the rest.
Discontented, dreamy, moody, restless.
Not your usual pig in a book.
Shakespeare, why aren't you eating with your brothers and sisters?
I'm not hungry, Mama.
Not hungry? Ridiculous! Since when do you have to be hungry to make a pig of yourself?
Is that all life is, Mama? Eating and snorting and grunting and slobbering?
Oh, my poor dear Shakespeare, asking such questions. How I worry about you.
It seems there is more to our existence than what I see here in Batsford. What about the rest of the world?
I don't know what the rest of the world is like, my dears. You could ask once taken to a county fair murder go. What a prize of some sort.
For being a hog, what kind of prize is that?
Well, he couldn't very well win it for being a swan.
It seems that I'm destined to do more with my life. Something that will glorify myself and all of my kind. What a piece of work is a pig. How noble in reason. How infinite in faculty.
Don't be such a bore here. We'll talk later. Now try eating a little something.
Yes, Mama.
What's become of that little worker? I don't know. I'm afraid it's just another case of girls before swine.
Shakespeare may have forever lived the life of a discontented pig in a backwater town.
But one day, something changed the young pig's heart.
A group of traveling actors, known as the pork rind players, set up a simple stage in the market square of Shanksphere and performed a play.
They were not the most accomplished of actors, and the little play was rather crude.
Unhand and maiden, sir, or I'll puncture your course on top of this prickly pair of poker.
Are you addressing me, sausage face?
Yeah! Release this pretty, or you'll pay the price every pig in a quarter pig. Good morning, your princess is such a
Poetry in the theater was somewhat edible.
But it didn't matter. Shakespeare was mesmerized, and inspiration filled the young pig's heart.
Now my life has a purpose. I will join the theatrical profession and bring drama and romance to audiences everywhere.
Some say that Shakespeare left Shanksphere that very day, stealing out of the pig pen late at night, and joining the players as they rode out of town in their hog cart.
Goodbye, Shanksphere on Avon. Farewell, familiar old pig pen. It's an actor's life for me.
There's no record of Shakespeare in Frankfurt after 1585, but 7 years later, it shows up as an actor in the capital city of London.
Those unaccounted for 7 years have intrigued and puzzled scholars for centuries.
Where was Shakespeare, and what was the young pig doing?
Some have suggested that he was a traveling actor, but there is no proof.
Others believe that Shakespeare joined the army and saw combat in France.
Forward! On to the breach! There's a hell of a lot of French pigs over there! And they all have swords! Stand not on the order of your going, but run wee-wee-wee-wee-wee-wee!
Others have suggested that Shakespeare was a teacher and taught Latin to private pupils.
Today we will be studying the orations of Cicero.
I hate Cicero. Let's eat.
Then we will study the poetry of Virgil.
Virgil, yuck. I'm hungry. Me too. Let's eat.
Listen to me, you suckling pigs. I'm talking about a whole new kind of nourishment. The food of knowledge.
Huh?
Not food for the body, but food for the soul. The majesty of words, the beauty of ideas, the glory of poetry.
I'd rather have swill. Me too.
Let me teach you the dialogues of Plato, the ideas of Erasmus, the philosophy of Bacon. A little learning is a dangerous thing. I wonder who said that.
Others believe Shakespeare became a sailor during this mysterious period.
Ah, the bracing sea air, the crashing of the waves, the spewing of the foam, the screaming of the gulls, the constant rocking and rolling of the deck, the insistent rocking, and the merciless rolling.
Others have even suggested that Shakespeare was a spy for the government of swinedom.
There you are. Come in. After you read the contents of this letter, you must memorize what it says and not divulge the information under any circumstances.
Certainly.
Even if you're captured and tortured, you must not utter one word of what is written here.
Torture?
Even if they tear out your tongue and burn your roots off, you must remain loyal to the Queen.
swear if they tear out my tongue, I won't say a word.
All right, read it out.
The map to the money for the military is under the molehill in the mire, 1 mile from the mulch mill on the moorings of the Mohawk River in Middleton.
Exactly. Memorize it, eat your letter, and off you go.
Memorize, eat, and go. Got it. God save the Queen. God save the Queen. The map to the money for the military is under the molehill in the mire, 1 mile from the mulch mill on the moorings of the Mohawk River in Middleton. That's easy. The map to the money for the military is under the mulch mill. No, that's all right. Map, money, military, molehill, mire, mulch mill, moorings, Mohawk River, Middleton. Okay, this time I got it. The map to the money is Boney in Maryland, but moored in Manila. Who got that?
Doesn't speak our language, I see.
You're smart!
According to the village areas,
We may never actually know what happened during this mysterious period of Shakespeare's life, but we do know that in 1594, the name of Shakespeare appears among the actors at the Globe Playhouse in Loyndon.
The playhouse was run by the famous actor Borbridge, and we believe that Borbridge was the one who suggested and encouraged Shakespeare to find a new career path.
You're a rotten actor, Shanksphere. I don't say that to challenge yourself to become better, or to challenge yourself to prove me wrong. I say that because you're just lousy on stage. I've seen sides of me hang around the market with more acting talent than you, and you haven't got the looks for it either. You're not the ugliest performer I've ever seen. Swill Kemp's uglier, but he at least is funny. You can't tell a joke on stage to save your life. You're a total washout as a performer, and I mean it in the kindest way possible.
Thanks for your, honesty.
You're welcome.
What am I to do? The theater is my life.
As it should be, my dear Shanksphere. But the best thing you can do for the Loyndon Theater is keep off the stage as often as possible.
But maybe I will get better.
Pigs fly.
Well, perhaps I shall go and kill myself.
See, that's what I like about you, Shakespeare. Always a flair for the dramatic. I knew it the first time you auditioned.
But you just said that,
Here. I found this in your dressing room the other day. My lady pig's eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her mighty snout. Would you care to explain yourself?
it was just a poem I was working on.
A poem? Why do you waste your time on a poem?
Well, since my acting roles have gotten smaller and smaller lately, I've had plenty of time off stage, so I just sort of doodle.
Doodle? You shouldn't be doodling with poems. You should be writing plays. With your flair for the poetic and your natural bent for the dramatic, you could really bring home the bacon.
Really?
Yeah, the theater needs great playwrights. Have you seen some of the slop we've had to serve our audiences? If the script's getting any worse, I'll desert to doing French plays. So what do you say?
I'll do it!
That's my Shakespeare. Now I need a new piece with a lot of laughs, a bit of romance, and something to do with the Spanish sword I picked up cheap at the Army-Navy store. Be inspired. Use your imagination. Climb the heights. Explore places in the mind that have before not been discovered. And I need it in a week, so step on it.
A week!
So Shakespeare put away the grease paint and took up the pen. Day and night, the new author worked on a comedy called Loin's Labor's Lost, filling it with young love, comic characters, disguises, and masks, and a Spanish sword. A week later, Borbridge's company was rehearsing the play on the stage of the Globe Playhouse.
I hereupon confess I am in love, sweet youth. base for a soldier to love. So I'm in love with a base winch. If drawing my sword against a human of affection would deliver me from a reverent thought of its, I would take desire prisoner. Comforts me, youth. What great men have been in love.
Hercules.
Hercules. Pox on that Greek pork roast. Who else?
Sir Hampson did love the beauteous maiden Delilah.
Sir Hampson, curses and dandruff to that. Hairless hemlock.
Capital stuff, Shakespeare. That part of the Spanish Count, Don Armadillo, fits Will Kemp like a pigskin glove. It needs a little cutting here and there, trim the fat. But I think you've got something. Of course, you won't know for certain until Tuesday when we first perform it before the public.
Tuesday? But do you think it will be ready by then?
Doesn't matter, that's when we open. We're already selling tickets. But don't worry, Shakespeare, it's just a play.
But what if it fails? What if the critics can it? I'll be ruined!
Don't worry about the critics. Half the population can't even read. All you have to do is please the public. Nothing to it, so relax. Water out the hog's back.
If you say so.
By the by, the Queen will be there Tuesday.
The Queen?
Before Shakespeare knew it, Tuesday came, and so did the Queen. Good Queen BLT the First. The reigning monarch of Swindom, imperial ruler of the greatest kingdom on earth, and patroness of the arts.
Comforts me, youth. What great men have been in love.
Hercules.
Hercules. Pox on that Greek pork roast. Who else?
Sir Hampson did love the beauteous maiden Delilah.
Sir Hampson. Curses and dandruff to that hairless hemlock.
There was laughter, there were tears, there was excitement, and there was that Spanish sword. The audience applauded them all. Lloyd's Labor's Lost was a hit.
By George, you've done it.
Quite amusing, Burbage, especially the sword.
Thank you, Your Majesty. May I introduce the young playwright, the Honorable Shakespeare?
We are pleased, Shakespeare. Indeed, we are pleased.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
But the next time, something with a little more blood. Not too much, mind you, but a little blood adds to the excitement. Don't you agree? Now I must depart. Thank you both for an afternoon's diversion. My carriage, the royal trough.
You heard her, Shakespeare. Something with a little blood. We start rehearsals on Saturday.
Saturday? But I nearly killed myself coming up with the last play. You can't keep cranking them out so fast.
Yes, you can. Write a good part for me this time. Perhaps a villain. I like that. But don't forget the blood.
But I haven't a clue what to write about. You can't get silk from a sow's ear.
Steal the story from history. Write about a king. A bloody, treacherous king. I can play that. Just make sure it's not a relative of the queen. Now, enough talking. Get to work.
Taking Borwich's advice, Shakespeare quickly wrote a play about a villainous hunchback who schemes and murders his way to the throne. He called it The History of King Porkrine III. Borwich played the evil King Porkrine and triumphed in the role.
Kings. Kings not related to the queen. That sounds like a very hard task. All right, there's King George. Now, tomorrow. Elvis? No, too much pelvis. No, that won't work. Richard! The fifth! Wait, no. Was that fifth? I need to stop using numbers. The third, that's what he was. Now, who'd he kill? Who did he kill? Did he kill anyone? Yes, he did. It was his, aunts. No. Third cousin twice removed? Oh, his nephews. He needs someone else, too. Of course, his best friends. Who wouldn't kill his best friends? That makes perfect sense.
Tonight is the winter of our discontent, made glorious by the son of pork.
The play is filled with treachery, battles, revenge,
And blood. Plenty of blood.
And since I cannot prove to be a lover, I am determined to go hog wild and prove to be a villain.
Porkrind murders his brother.
Farewell, Clarence.
He murders his best friend.
Farewell, Buckingham.
He even murders his nephews, 2 young princes, as they slept in the Tower of London.
Bye-bye, boys. Talk about pigs in a blanket.
By the end of the play, evil King Porkrind gets his just desserts.
Take that, and that, and... I need a sword, a knife, a stick. My kingdom for a stick.
Shakespeare's history play was a big hit, and the theater's most promising playwright was off and running.
Over the next few decades, there will be 33 plays written by Shakespeare.
More histories, comedies, tragedies.
And not only plays, often the writer will return to doodling and writing poems.
Shall I compare these with Swineman's birthday? The more lovely and more temperate than Porkchops and Men.
Shakespeare started sending the poems to publishers.
Dozens of love sonnets.
When in disgrace with fortune and swine my guys, I, all alone, do weep my big leg state.
And narrative poems as well.
Venus and Pigfoot.
A lover's intestinal complaints.
All of them were published over the years and were read in the best houses and by the most educated of swine.
Though they did not pay as well as the plays, the poems made Shakespeare a famous literary figure.
No, no, no. A waste of time. Nothing but highfalutin dribble. Right for the stage, for the porcine populace.
But a play is over in a few hours. The published poem lives forever. I will be remembered.
Books fall apart. Paper rots. Society favorites go out of fashion faster than last year's swine flu.
I want to be remembered as a great writer, not just some hack who turns out scripts or hands on stage.
Then tell me something, Hack. How much did that Venus and Pigfoot poem pay? How much went into your piggy bank from the hours and the hog sweat you put into it?
Well,
Exactly. Now get to work, genius. We start rehearsals in 6 days.
So Shakespeare returned to the theater.
And continued to enjoy success as one of the most popular hacks on the winded stage.
He explored the battle of sexes in the comedy and the taming of the show.
In which the brawling lover Porkchapio and the shrewish Caterina Pigarn matched wits and assaults.
Well, have you heard something hard of hearing? They call me Pigarn that to talk of me.
Nay, you what? They call you Case the Cutie, or Caterina, the fairest portrait of all Verona. You are sometimes even referred to as Miss P. I'm here to tell thee that I want to move thee to become my wife.
Moved? You'll not move until I say it is time.
One did not tell me that such a porker was as light as a feather.
Asses are made to bear, and so are you.
No, Miss Piggies are made to bear, and so are you. On Sunday is the wedding day.
I shall see thee hanged on Sunday first.
Well, I'll be hogtied, for I am the swine born to tame this pig-headed porker. I will turn her from pugilant pig iron to pleasant and peaceful as a suckling pig on Mother's Day.
The variety and vitality of the characters Shakespeare created were astonishing to behold.
From painted soldiers to peasants and clowns, Shakespeare's plays were filled with memorable pigs of all kinds.
Sometimes the characters were not limited to the animal kingdom, but included spirits and fairies.
Such as in the magical moonlit comedy A Midsummer Night's Pig Roast.
In which Corcoran, the king of the fairies, plays a trick on Canadian Bacon, the queen of the fairies.
I'll bet by moonlight, proud Canadian bacon.
What ho does Corcoran I have forsworn your Buchanan company?
Return to me the precious warthog that thou hast stolen.
Not for all the hammered fairyland, I depart and chide no more with thee. Today, even with the proud queen, Corcoran takes a flower that, when its liquid is placed on the eyes of someone asleep, that someone will fall instantly in love with the first creature it sees upon waking.
Also in the forest was the mischievous spirit, pickled pig's feet.
But everyone called
for short.
Over hill, over dale, from pigsty to barnyard pond, I'm the most mischievous piggy of them all. What's this? A stranger in our forest? How curious.
Or be my fellow actors from the Razorback Union. We were to meet in these woods and rehearse the plays to be performed before the Duke of Squilford. Fellow swine, where are you? It is I, Hogwild, the Union foreman. Where be these fellows?
I cannot help myself. I'll play mischief on this rude mechanical. With my humble magic powers, I will transform him into something quite disgusting. Let me think. Ah, I have it. By moonlight's mystical myopia, let this mottled moron become the most misshapen of all morsels. A mortal. Now let his friends get a look at him.
Hello there. Peter Curlytail. Pig Snout. Snark Snart. Where are you?
Where are these actors? We are meant to rehearse.
Ah, Peter Curlytail. Well, that's unsure.
Oh, monstrous creature, come not near me.
What's the meaning of that?
You.
Me, what? Speak your mind, Peter Curlytail.
You are transformed. Bless me, dear Hogwild, but you've been turned into a bacon-eating, sausage-slurping human.
Human? I did not come here to be insulted. Human indeed. I never call him such a name. Get back here, Peter Curlytail, and apologize.
What melodious sounds are these? What beauteous creature is this?
Sorry, madam, I didn't see you there. Do you know the way out of these woods?
I know not one, bush or bramble, any stream or stile, dearest and bravest one. All I know is that I love these, the stars of their heavenly sisters.
All I want is a one-way ticket out of here. Cut the nonsense and point me in the right direction.
Thou art as wise as thou art beautiful. Out of these woods do not desire to go. Thou shalt remain here, for I doth love thee and will have thy fairies attend on thee forever after.
Get away from me! I'll go mad and escape from you.
Tarry, sweet creature, tarry until I can win that love, you mailing mortal of a man.
What am I thinking? Have I gone too far? Letting a pretty pig like that fall in love with a human?
By the end of the play, the spell over the fairy queen is broken and all ends happily. A man can make a pig of himself, but no one would be satisfied with a pig making a man of himself. Soon after Midsummer Night's Pig Roast opened, Shakespeare received a very special visitor. It was a distinguished scholar, scientist, and nobleman, Sir Frankfurt Bacon.
Is anyone around here?
Ah! There you are!
This is indeed an honor, Sir Frankfurt.
I had to seek you out. When I read those poems, I knew I must try my best to persuade you
Persuade me to what, Sir Frankfurt?
to stop wasting your time on those vulgar plays. Focus all your energies on poetry.
But the plays pay the rent, and my health insurance, and my tailor bill.
400 years from now, do you think anybody will care about your tailor and his bills? No. It is poetry that will live on. It is poetry that will enlighten the world.
Well, I was kind of hoping a few of the plays would stick around as well.
Pig droppings. No one cares about plays. They aren't even published. Look towards the future, Shanksphere. Look towards ages to come. Not at ramshackle playhouses that will someday be dust.
Shakespeare was more confused than ever. Should it be plays or poems?
I must continue to do both. The plays will feed my stomach, and the poems will feed my soul. Oh, what rogue and peasant pig am I!
So, Shakespeare continued to do both. More plays and more poems came from the pen of the literary genius, such as the Roman history play Julius Razorback. The story of Julius Razorback was portrayed by his best friend, Ruth Chops.
Liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead. And two rude chops.
And then there was a Scottish history play MacBoar, the story of the noble King MacBoar, who was driven to murder the king because his vicious wife, Lady MacBoar, rode piggyback on him.
He's here in double trust. First as I am his kinsman and his subject, and then as his host.
Screw your heritage, suck me the pig, and you will not fear.
Out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow. A poor player.
Enough pottery! Kill the king before he dies of old age. And then there's perhaps the greatest work of them all, the tragedy of Hamhan, Prince of Denmark. The ageless story of a prince gone mad out of love, revenge, indecision, and other things.
Dear Cousin Melonius, have you seen my son Hamlock?
Queen Gertrude, he is coming straight here to your bedchamber. I will hide myself behind the arrows so that I can hear all.
Mother,
Hamlock, thou hast thy father much offended.
mother, you have my father much offended.
Oh, come, you answer much on idle tongue.
Go, you question the wicked tongue.
What? Thou wilt not have me. Help!
How? How?
How now, a rat or a pig? Dead for a ducat, dead.
Oh, I am once playing swine.